grew up on late-night warnings.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Scared, straight.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
And were inspired by movies that defined a generation.
We were all pretty bizarre. Some of us are just better at hiding it, that's all.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
I feel the need for speed.
We found our attitude in comedy.
I'm Gumby, damn it!
You see that sign?
No shirt, no shoes.
No dice!
Right. Learn it. Know it. Live it.
And our identity in pop culture.
I want my MTV!
I want my MTV.
I want my MTV!
What you talking about, Willis?
Keep your feet in the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
This is Gen X Men with Bill Rowland and Gary Dollarhide.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
All right, episode 18 here. Gen X Men underway. Bill Rowland here. Gary Dollarhide there. And yes, as you can see, if you were watching this on YouTube or any other place, it is the Thursday before the storm here on the East Coast. The Snowmageddon, as they're calling it, is coming. We've been through this before. Gary, you and I both grew up in Virginia. We've seen these storms come through. You're now up in Maine. I spent many a winter vacation in Maine. Everybody's freaking out. It's going to be fine. Okay.
It's going to be fine.
You're not going to starve to death because you can't get to the Food Lion or Whole Foods or Wegmans or whatever it is for perhaps a day. That's it. You know what? Just go. Like, I don't understand everybody, milk, bread, toilet paper. Okay. Unless you're running low, why do you need to get like an entire 12-pack of toilet paper for you to get through this storm? You're going to get to the store by Tuesday at the latest. It's absurd.
Yeah. Well, look, Maine is better designed to handle heavy snow than, say, Virginia ever was. But it's like I learned being non-native coming here. Yeah, it could snow. It might snow heavy, but you're going to be able to get out and about probably in under 24 hours because they just move snow. So you're going to be okay. That's why here right now, people are like, yeah, snowstorm, sure, whatever, right? Going out on about their business. But I laugh watching on social media and everywhere else. It's maps and it's coming and make sure your batteries are charged and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I just kind of laugh now because, again, I'm a little bit numb to it being here, but knowing like, hey, just sit at home, eat some snacks for 24 hours. It's going to be fine.
Right. I mean, look, there will be tragically things that happen in this storm. And unfortunately, there will be people that probably will lose their lives in this storm. It's a fact. But you know what? That happens every storm. It happens. Heck, every single day there are car accidents across the U.S. and people lose their lives. It sucks. I understand all that. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be, prepared for this, but you're not going to get snowed in up to your, it's not going to snow all the way up to your window where you're not going to be able to get out of your house for, 2 weeks. That's not happening. So
everyone has those visions of you open the garage door and the snow is stacked up to the roof line on the outside.
I don't. And here's the other thing that people in Virginia don't understand. When you watch Buffalo, they get 2 feet of snow all the time up there. When you watch Vermont, Maine, whatever it is, and they're like, wow, look at those giant snow blowers they have and everything else. No, the difference is the type of snow. That's the huge difference. I keep trying to tell Carrie, my fiance, this constantly. She's like, well, if we get 12 inches of snow, we probably won't go to school the entire week. I'm like, first off, why are you begging? I'm like, why are you begging for days off? You just had 2 weeks at Christmas time. You need to go back to work. Okay, that's first off. Second off, the difference is if it's going to be as bitterly cold, because today, before she left to go to school, she's holding her phone. She goes, look, it's going to be in the 20s as a high all next week. maybe they'll cancel school. She's like, maybe they'll cancel school because it's too cold for the kids to be at the bus stop. And I'm like, okay, maybe they'll go in late. I've lived through that with Fairfax County when it's been like 5 degrees, which I think is, again, dumb. Like, just they'll be okay. They'll be a little chilly when they get to school, but they'll be fine. They're not going to die. But I'm like, you're begging for this. I said, but here's the thing. The fact that it's going to be that cold is actually going to make it easier to get rid of the snow. Because here in Northern Virginia, as anybody who's lived here knows, a lot of times when it snows, it's like 34 degrees when the snow starts falling. So it's not below freezing. So you get that wet, heavy ass snow that piles up on the tree limbs, and then the tree limbs snap, and then they take down the power lines. And that's when you end up not having power for a few days because everything is just all of it. It's a mess. This stuff, if it's going to be 20 degrees as a high, is going to be that fine, thin, powdery stuff that all the skiers love because it's just thick and soft. And you could take not even a snowblower. You could take a leaf blower and just blow it off your driveway because it's not heavy and wet. It just goes. Basically, this is going to be like 8 inches of like when you get a dusting and you can see it swirl off the road as you drive. You see it, you know what I'm talking about as you drive by and you've got the dusting of snow. That thin, cold snow is going to be easy to remove. I'm like, you don't want this thinking that you're going to have like 4 or 5 days off because you're going to be sorely disappointed when today they're like, oh, shoot, we got this stuff moved pretty quick. Yes.
Powdery.
That's the kind of snow they get in Buffalo. That's the kind of snow you guys get up there in Maine because it's like 15 degrees when it snows and you get that nice, fluffy snow that sucks for snowballs and snowmen, but it makes it for an easy time to plow it off the road.
Yep, it does that. And honestly, snow appears because of some of those reasons. Not even we always worry about ice.
Right.
Because if you get a day where it hits 35 and then the next 3 days are 20, so everything thawed, spread out, and then glazed back over. And now you got ice sheets everywhere. So that's the stuff we spend more time paying attention to up here.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing here. You'll get the black ice when, again, if it snows all day and it's, 35, 36, and it'll pile up on the lawns and everything, but it'll be just wet on the roads. And then it drops down to 25. And then you get the black ice and the freezing.
Yeah.
Snow doesn't bother me. I don't care. I learned to drive in snow when I was 13 up in Pennsylvania and in Maine. My dad used to let me we had an old Blazer that we would take on road trips like we talked about a couple weeks ago. And there were fields, literally acres upon acres of farmland where there's nobody else around unless I drove 60 miles an hour and suddenly turned the wheel and flipped it. I couldn't hurt. There was nothing for me to hit. So they would take me out there and be like, okay, drive. All right, now hit the brake. Do you feel that? All right, now if you start to slide, everybody makes the same mistake. You start sliding to the right. What does everybody do? They turn the wheel to the left. Just makes it worse. You always turn into the skid so that you can once it catches again, you've got the car back under control. So I learned when I was real little. I mean, not little, but, young. Before I was even 16, I was driving in snow. So the snow doesn't bother me. As long as you have clearance and front wheel drive because you want the weight where the tires are gripping, then you're fine. The problem is when you try to drive your Nissan Altima in 8 inches of snow and it only has 6 inches of clearance, all you're doing is pushing the snow in front of you. Ain't going to work. So as long as you have clearance, you're fine. So that doesn't bother me. The ice, I don't mess with. Just nothing you can do. I don't care how good of a driver you are. Nothing you can do about it.
No, not at all. And that's, again, I've been here long enough. I know the difference. And watching newbies come in, you have to tell them you drive differently when it's winter. You take your time. You still can't go out here and run 75 miles an hour like you normally do because of snow, because of ice. And those are the people you end up seeing here in the ditches, in the trees, and slide offs. This past weekend, we had a minor snowstorm, and that's what I did for about 48 hours is everyone sliding off the road. And guess where they weren't from? Maine. So
Right.
it's like you got to slow down. You just take your time,
Yeah, and I love that, and you probably saw this again. For those of you who may be watching for, one of the times you haven't heard, Gary works as an EMT up in Maine, so he does all this kind of stuff. But I always laugh because people think, oh, I have four-wheel drive. It's like, the ice doesn't care about your four-wheel drive. It doesn't matter. And
now you just have four-wheel sliding.
Right, and they will. They'll drive 60, 65, 70 miles an hour here on the Beltway when there's, snow coming down, everything else. And I'm like, I'm going to see you in about 2 miles in a guardrail because this is not a great idea. And I don't cheer for anybody to get hurt. I don't mind it if I see that they've wrecked their car, as long as they're staying on the side of the road looking at it healthy. Then I just kind of give a little silent cheer, like, you got what you deserve there, buddy. But yeah, I'm going to be in the thick of it this weekend. Normally, if it was going to snow like this, I would just be like, you know what? And I got a brand new smoker for Christmas from Carrie, so it's awesome. So I think I'm going to go today and get myself some giant cut of meat. And if I get back from my trip Saturday night into Sunday, I think Sunday, even if it's snowing, I'm going to fire up the smoker, throw that thing on, and wait for the football games to start. Right? I mean, that's the way to handle it.
Hey, we grill out up here even in the snowstorms.
Yeah,
so
of course.
yeah, I mean you got heat. It's right there. The food's taken care of. It's a perfect day for it. I mean, I'm hoping you get back because you and I were talking. I was looking at the maps and the directions you're going, and what's going to happen. So because
here's my dilemma.
Yes,
that we have, so people will know. Everybody, obviously, if you know, I do George Mason basketball games, play-by-play guy. So we're going to Rhode Island. They're not supposed to get snow there in Rhode Island. I've looked. Friday here, it's going to be nice. It's going to be 53 here today as we record this on Thursday. Yeah, it's crazy. And then 40-something tomorrow. So I'm not worried about getting out tomorrow. We'll get out. There's no weather up in Rhode Island. They had a little bit of rain, I think, yesterday and today, but it's going to be gone. So it should be a good flight going up there. The game is at 2:00 on Saturday afternoon in Providence, or Kingston is where University of Rhode Island is. We are flying out back commercial, not the team. We're not on their charter. Me and another guy who works at Mason had to fly commercial because they filled up the charter with various other people. So we are trying to get from Kingston to Providence, about a half-hour drive, immediately after the game to get on a 7:00 flight. So we are rooting. Can't have overtime. We can't have a big long thing because he's got to finish up, he's a sports information director. He's got to get the story put out, all this other stuff. He has to stay. We can't just immediately go because he has to make sure that Coach Skin gets to whatever press conference he needs or whatever else. We can't really leave until all of that is taken care of. And then we got a half-hour drive to get to the airport. Now, we both have TSA pre-check. Neither one of us are checking a bag, so we should just be able to zip right through security and everything. We don't have to do anything else. We'll check in the day before, online. So we should be good. The question becomes, the plane takes off at 7:02 Eastern time in Providence. It's expected to land just before 9:00. So that means it's a small-ass plane. If it's going to take nearly 2 hours to get from Providence to Reagan, it's probably going to be a prop plane with my luck. So I think it's a 2x2. Up there, it's not. Up there, our flight's like an hour. But coming back, it's twice as long. So, and the seats are 2x2 instead of 3x3. So it's a smaller plane, obviously. So the question is, can I get out of Providence before the snow hits there and get into D.C. in time before it gets really bad here and they can't clear the runways? I got to hit that window. Or here's my other option. You tell me if I'm nuts. I'm going to rent a car and drive home because if I can't get out from Providence to D.C. Saturday night, the snow is only going to get worse the longer I stay in Providence. It's just going to show up. Then I'm not going to be able to get out the next day from the Providence airport because they're going to be snowed under. And then I'm waiting until Monday. And if it's really, really bad, maybe not getting until Tuesday. I don't want to do that. I don't want to spend another 48 hours in Rhode Island. No offense to people who live in Rhode Island. No, thank you. I'm not in Newport. I'm not going to be in Newport. I'll be in Providence or Kingston. No, thank you.
So a part of me, see, I'd lean differently. I'd be like, how am I going to stay here and make Mason foot the bill because I got snowed in? Take
Yeah,
2
but what
days
am I
off
going
on
to
their
do?
dime.
I mean, just gonna sit in a hotel? That sucks.
Well, I mean, is it a good hotel? I mean, is there
No, it's
pools or hot
Kingston, Rhode Island.
tubs?
It's Kingston or Providence. I mean, I guess Providence is okay, but what am I going to do? Go hang out at Brown? Come on.
There's good pizza there.
There is. There is. I know a couple of spots, actually. But if we were staying in Newport, maybe it'd be different. They're not going to foot the bill for me to stay in a $300 hotel in Newport for 2 extra days.
True.
They're going to be like, get the Holiday Inn at the airport and wait.
Yep. So yeah, I would I guess I'd be more of the, hey, look, I'll make every attempt to try to get out, but if it doesn't, I'll be okay. You were talking about driving, and that's where you and I differ, because I'd be like, man, driving that long. I mean, I like some road trips. I just in the snow, who knows what's going on in the Jersey Turnpike, everything between you and DC. I would just be like, yeah, I'm gonna settle down and wait this one out, just because, the not pressure, but just stress of trying to drive south in the middle of the storm. I would avoid it if it were me.
I think, and I don't blame you. I mean, I probably should just stay up there, but I can't. I hate being stuck and at the mercy of somebody else telling me when I can and can't leave. That's what bothers me, is the fact that they're like, no, you're not going to be able to get out. Well, I'm like, well, yeah, I can take a car. I can get home. I can get home myself. I like the idea of being self-sufficient and not relying on somebody else telling me, okay, we'll let you leave. You're just kind of stuck there, right?
Yeah.
So my thought is, Rhode Island. If I'm stuck there Saturday night, it's because things are happening in DC, not because they're happening in Rhode Island. So I figure going from Providence, it probably doesn't get bad until I get down around Baltimore. Like I figured the Jersey Turnpike and everything, like they do a pretty decent job, because it is a main thoroughfare of keeping it relatively clean and running and plowed. It's not going to be, I don't think Saturday night it's going to be like, it's already, they have 6 to 8 inches there on the Jersey Turnpike. I think it's just going to be starting. So I don't think it's going to be that bad. The last hour of the drive, hour and a half, when I get into Maryland and Baltimore, that's when it's going to get bad, because these people around here don't have A, any clue how to drive. B, they won't have done a good job of maybe getting the road plowed, even though it's 95. I mean, the nice thing is it's highway pretty much all the way to my house. Until I get to my neighborhood, it's either a major interstate, or I can go down and the exit to 234, and it's a 4-lane, 2 lanes on each side, drive all the way to my neighborhood. So it's not like I'm having to cut through. Like I was talking about, if I had to go to Mason on Sunday for the women's game, like normally for people to know the area, I'd have to cut through a place called Clifton, which is all back roads and, hills and curves. No way. I'd have to take the long way around and go up to like 66 and cut across that way to get, because then at least, again, you're on major roads the entire way there.
Yeah.
So I figure as long as I'm on major roads, worst case scenario, I get into my neighborhood. It's now probably close to 1 a.m. It's been hammering snow. Maybe there's 6 inches. I can't get to where I live. There is one hill to get up to my street. I park the car on the side of the road and I walk. It's less than a mile from the front of the neighborhood to my door.
Uphill both ways?
No, just uphill one way. There is a hill. I mean, I would walk down the hill and then flat, and then I have to go up a hill. But yeah, I mean, it's a mile. Like I'll have boots. I'm not going to be dumb enough to not pack boots with me. I'll have boots. I'll have gloves. I'll have a big heavy jacket. I can walk a mile. I can last 20 minutes outside in the cold. I'm not going to die. That's my plan. Bad plan?
No, not horrible. The things I would look at is I would check with the car rentals, because you're going to have to figure all this out at the airport.
I know.
And say, are you going to be renting in the middle of the storm? Is there any extra fees for me going one way and not returning the car here?
It'll cost more, but I'll be able to drive it one way to Reagan where I'm leaving my car.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't be that big of a deal to take it to another airport. Usually I don't like it if you just take it to some other random place. But airport to airport, I would think it's okay. Here's the other thing I'm banking on, and it's on my list of things I need to do today. I have a couple of kids that used to play basketball for me at the high school. They have now since graduated from college. A couple of them are now managers at Enterprise.
There you
So
go.
I may have to make a call and be like, hey, any way you can just keep one on hold for me? And then if I don't use it, it's fine. You know, like just have an extra car waiting for me in Providence just in case.
Yep.
And what's the cancellation fee for that? Maybe I should just go ahead and book one now.
I don't think there is fees usually. So yeah, you should probably book it and then release it if it looks like everything's going to go to plan.
Okay.
Because beyond
That's
that,
a
the only
good
thing
idea.
I would say is I would carry their insurance, unfortunately, because not you, but someone who's deciding not to drive properly
Right.
T-bones you on the Jersey Turnpike, you get to walk away from that car and it's not your headache. So
Right. No, that's true.
in-
That's
and
a
you're
good
only
idea. It costs me a
you're
little
really
bit more, but
but you're only doing it for the day. So if they tack on
Right.
an extra $35-40, not my problem if
right.
someone slides into me because they were,
Yeah.
still driving NASCAR like in the middle of a snowstorm.
It would be absolute to me, and other people would be like, no, that's crazy. It would be absolutely worth it to me, even if I had to pay $100 to get home that night rather than being stuck up in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
It's worth it. Absolutely worth it to me. I mean, again, every time is money for everybody. I'd rather be home here digging out other people. You know, if it's going to be that bad, I need to get here to shovel things out and get everybody moving. So I'd rather pay $100 or whatever it would be than to be stuck up there in Rhode Island.
Well,
So
I mean, just on the surface of you talking about smoking a pork shoulder on Sunday,
yes.
that's what motivates me. Like I want to get home because that's how I want my Sunday to be more than anything.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean,
Pulled pork comes Sunday afternoon.
exactly. That's the other thing is like, do I want to watch? I mean, again, ultimately, it is what it is. If it's going to be unsafe, it's unsafe. You can't do anything about it. But do I want to watch the NFL championship games on Sunday on some 20-inch TV in a hotel room, or even worse, go down with all the other losers that are stuck at the hotel bar and watch it down there? I mean, it would be okay, I guess, because it'd be a bunch of Patriot fans, I'm assuming, there in Rhode Island. So, I mean, that would be fine. But I'd rather come home and watch it on my nice high-def TV with my slippers on and like you said, the pork shoulder or brisket or whatever. My fiance's from Texas. It'd probably have to be a brisket cooking in the background. I mean, I'd rather do that. I can get home. If I have to drive, get home at like 2 a.m. and fire that sucker up right then. It'll be ready by lunchtime. I won't have to do anything. I just toss it on, fill up the thing. 6 hours later, get up, fill it up again. It'll be done in 12 hours. It'll be great.
Perfect weekend.
It's perfect. That's what I'm going to do.
I'm going to have positive thoughts for you that you hit the window just right. Everything falls in place and you get that flight home.
If I hit that window and I make it home and it's just starting to snow as we descend into Reagan and I get to see the snow falling as I look to what would probably be my right, because I think that's the way they're going to come in on landings. And to the right, I'll see the Washington Monument and the Capitol, and I'll be so happy. I will feel so lucky. I will play the lottery that night. On my drive home Saturday night, I will go buy Powerball tickets and figure that I've got the luck.
Who are you flying in? American?
American, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So AI will find it for you. I would go figure out where your plane is prior to your flight. Where's it coming from? Because that's gonna play a lot into it, especially Providence being a secondary airport.
Yep.
Are they going to hold that flight somewhere else and just let Providence set? And so that might give you a clue as well, because you could probably track it during the day. I think you can with the FlightAware app.
Maybe. Yeah.
And
I'll look.
You punch in your flight, it'll tell you about your plane and where it's coming from. Like you can track that plane all day. So you'll know, okay, if it's coming out of Florida and it's going to land here and then go to there, that'll keep you aware of what's going to happen with you, because
Yeah.
I'd be concerned they're going to do the whole, we're still going to fly, but we're going to be delayed an hour, and we're going to be delayed an hour and a half. Once they start doing that, I think it's done. I wouldn't trust them on that one. Yep.
Yeah, because here's the thing, and I had this last week when Mason went to Chicago to play Loyola Chicago. Same thing. We weren't on the charter. So we flew in Monday. We played Tuesday, and then obviously played Tuesday night. There aren't any flights out Tuesday night. So we, the SID and I, flew back out on Wednesday. Well, they had some weather out in the Midwest on Wednesday. It was snowing when we got up there in Chicago, but I'm like, they handle it well, and they did. There's no problems getting to the airport at all. We took an Uber. It was like a 45-minute drive. The runways were fine, everything. We got there, plane was delayed because the plane was coming from Indianapolis, and they were on a ground stop, I guess, for whatever reason, or they couldn't get out. I don't know what it was, but our plane wasn't coming. We were supposed to leave at 11:30. There's another plane that was supposed to go at 12:30, so we switched. They had enough seats. We were able to switch. And then that flight, we didn't even get on the plane till 1:30, sat on the tarmac for an hour, finally got out and got back to Reagan. When we landed in Reagan, my buddy checked it. That flight that we were supposed to take at 11:30, and this is now 5:30 Eastern time, still had not left from Chicago. So if we had not been smart enough to be like, hey, I wonder if there are other seats on these other flights going out, we still would have been sitting in Chicago at 5:30 Wednesday night, and I would have been losing my mind. So that's the thing. That's a great idea. I got to do that ahead of time, because then if I know, hey, this flight's not there, we're delayed, I'm not even going to mess with the delay. I'll just go immediately and go get the rental car.
Yeah,
I'll just be like, I'm not going to take a chance on waiting. I'll just take a chance that it's not going to happen.
Yeah, because Providence, not a very big airport.
Nope.
Now you're looking at a Saturday night late flight. So the question, where's it coming? Where's it going? Do they want to hold it? There's a lot more going into it than being like a Chicago or something where there's flights all the time, in and out, out.
Right. No, this is the only
one.
You've got
a lot of those variations starting to hit there of, well, it's Saturday night, and their operations say, hey, the snowstorm, we're going to hold this plane here. And so, yeah, definitely should pull that up, and that way you'll know, because you might have an idea by game time.
I should have you be my travel agent. I'll just give you all my information, and you can track it for me as you're sitting there. Do you have to work this weekend, by the way? I didn't even ask that.
I do.
That's going to be awful.
So, I mean, here's what we're hoping, because here, yes, snow, but it's supposed to be brutally cold. Where we're talking, 5 degrees daytime high kind of thing.
Yeah.
So this is where we all sit and go, if everyone just can behave and stay home and not worry, because what also happens, psychology, storms come, because for those who don't know, Maine is an old state. I think we're still the oldest state in the union.
Population-wise,
so everyone's above 60, and they start to panic when things seem, big snowstorm. All of a sudden, now we've got to deal with, the foot rash that we've had for 3 weeks. Because, oh my God. The anxiety builds up, and all of a sudden you get a rush of, I need to go see a doctor. So, and a lot of times, as we say, it's things that aren't emergencies. They get the anxiety, they get upset, and they want that dealt with now, even though the ER for a lot of these things isn't going to deal with it the way you think they're going to deal with it. Their job is just to keep you alive, stable, and move you along.
And here's the question that I have for that, because if you take somebody by ambulance because they've called 911 and you get them to the ER and you drop them off, I mean, your job is done at that point.
Correct.
So now they're there, they get the foot rash or whatever they're dealing with looked at, and they go, all right, well, here's some ointment or whatever. This will take care of it. How are they getting home then at that point?
So,
because you're not taking an ambulance back home, I wouldn't think.
No. There's all sorts of levels. Most of the time they're like, well, when's your family coming? Can we go ahead and call them? And then, the look of horror, like, oh, hey. So the only time you get an ambulance ride home is if it's, I won't bore people, medically necessary.
Right.
Like your OB, not OB, bariatric because you weigh so much. Like
Right.
you have to have certain criteria to have an ambulance get you home.
Right. Well, so that's my
Right.
point. If you don't meet that, now, like again, do you when you're talking to the people, do you
Mhm.
do you say, hey, by the way, we ain't a taxi. This isn't ER Uber. We're not bringing you back.
So we try not to get into that because it could be that we're influencing people not to seek the proper medical
attention.
care.
All right. Yeah.
Right.
Makes sense.
So
Yep.
now if someone brings up, how am I going to get home? We can say, well, they're going to call your family, your friends, depending on which hospital you're at, there's a taxi, there's Uber. That's how you're getting home. And then you get that distraught look.
Can't imagine, as I say, can't imagine a 75-year-old's gonna be like, yeah, let me dial up this Lyft ride real quick. Do you think I should get Uber X, or is it gonna be too expensive with the snow surcharge? Because that's coming, that'll be in effect this weekend as well.
Absolutely.
You try to get an Uber, a 4-wheel drive Uber, you're gonna be paying $30 to go a mile.
Yeah. So we don't, and depending on again which hospital we go to, there's not a lot of Uber, Lyft drivers around. So you have to have family, or the hospital figures out how to coordinate getting you home. But it's rarely by ambulance that you go home that way because again, we aren't medical Uber. We have to go back in service for the next emergency. And then so our joke is, especially on the 911 side, yep, we're one way only. We get you there. The rest is up to you.
Yep.
So
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the problem. Again, we have older parents. We all understand this. I mean, the whole thing. So the nice thing is my mom being from Maine, I was just over at her house actually yesterday to pick up the snowblower that I was storing in her garage to bring it back here because I'd like to have it here. Because my brother-in-law and sister live right next door, so they'll take care of her driveway and everything. She'll just park her car in the garage and she won't leave for the week. It's fine. She again, being from Maine, she gets it. It's not a big deal. But I do understand like the panic of, because she's like, I don't, are you sure you should go to Rhode Island? I'm like, I don't have a choice. Like, what am I going to tell them? Sorry, I'm afraid that there's a little bit of a chance that it may snow and I'll be stuck. So I was like, I can't do that. I'm like, that's not how this works. So, but again, I mean, parents that way. So
she's being mom.
Exactly.
That's a mom reaction.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're not going to be watching the football games on Sunday, which again, perfect if you're on the East Coast and you get snowed in, that we have an NFL championship weekend. Because the snow's not going to be here Saturday for, to keep everybody in. It's going to be Sunday and then further along. But after that, what are you going to do? Like if you're stuck inside on Monday, we always talk about it. Do you have any new, I know you weren't a Stranger Things guy. That's already done and everything's over with. Is there something that you're going to have dialed up, ready to go there at the firehouse, or where are you guys at a firehouse? Is that where you guys do your stuff?
We're at I guess you could, so the station I work at is a combination senior center, public building, fire department, and then ambulance.
Oh, so you got some of them right next door then that you just walk over. If it's a senior center, they're right there in the building?
No. It's an activity center. So they congregate there during the week and they do activities. Otherwise, it's like a big social hall, if you will.
Oh, like a VFW
and then attached to it. Yeah. So it's a big metal building, and we have our little 2-bay area and bedrooms for the ambulance side, and then the fire department's on the other side with all their trucks and equipment. So
all right.
The good thing for us is, it's backup generators, so we never lose power, never lose heat or anything. So
perfect.
Good place to be during the storm.
Yeah. So what are you guys going to be, if you're not watching football on Sunday, what are you going to have dialed up to watch, as you're wasting time waiting for these 911 ER Uber calls?
Well, I've already seen part of it, but I want to finish it. And this ties into us. The new Star Search on Netflix.
I have not seen it. So is it now for those of us that are of a certain age, and that's why you're listening or watching this anyway, are they doing it exactly the way old Ed McMahon used to do it back in the day?
You miss good old Ed. Similar. So
every day.
Yeah. So they perform. So they'll have a vocalist versus a vocalist. They'll perform. The judges will rank them after each performance, and then the audience gets to vote.
Ooh.
You don't have to call. I'll give Netflix credit on this. You can either do it through the app, or if you have Roku, you can do it with your Roku remote. Your real-time voting right then and there. Give them 1 to 5 stars. So there's no waiting. And once they're both done performing, hey, God bless them. They've already figured it out. They've got the judges score. They've got the live, as they said, 160 countries voting tabulation. And you know right then and there who's moving on to next week. There's no wait, no dragging it out to the end of the show, nothing. They just go right at it.
Is your vote equally weighed to the judges? Like, so the judges vote. Who are the judges in this, by the way? We didn't get to that.
It's Jelly Roll.
Love Jelly Roll.
Sarah Michelle Gellar. And
Love
Chrissy
Sarah
Teigen.
Michelle Gellar. And who's the last one?
Chrissy Teigen.
All right, 2 out of 3 is not bad.
Yeah.
not a Chrissy Teigen fan.
So what they do is they each vote, again, 1 through 5 stars.
Okay.
And then they give them the average. So if it's 4, 4, and 5, whatever that is, 4 point whatever stars.
Right.
Then they add in the viewing audience average, whatever star that comes out, like 3.6.
All of you collectively are 1 vote.
Correct.
Okay.
And so they take, whatever their average is, 3.5, ours 3.5, add it together and gives you cumulative 3.56, however it lays out.
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, it's immediate. And that's why at one point, I don't watch The Voice. I watched American Idol first season. I just got tired of the dragging it out business. Like, tell me who's going to win, right? So that's what I like about this new Netflix is, right then and there, they perform, it's judged, we move on to the next thing instead of dragging it out to the end of the show, to keep viewers for so long.
Yeah, exactly. They keep you watching because then they, builds the drama and the intensity, and then you have to stay to the very end. But this works too, because even if you're not there for the live voting, I guess you can go back and watch it if you just want to see the performances and see how they do. I mean, I'm assuming it's still up on
I'm
Netflix.
assuming so too, because you can't vote, but why would you lose out on viewership if you're Netflix, right?
Right.
Because you want to build the show up because it's live Tuesdays and Wednesdays for the net. Well, we just completed a week for 4 more weeks. So they're giving a good shot at some live entertainment. And like I said, I think the voting's pretty good that you can just sit there and click in real fast and be a part of it instead of having to dial this number. Remember this number.
Oh, I mean, I remember that with American Idol.
Yep.
Being on the phone every vote night or something. I'm like, good Lord.
Or this number for that person and this, right?
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. The old Star Search, it was different numbers for different people. Yeah, that's right.
And now you just click with your remote and you're done. So
is it the same categories? Male vocalist, female vocalist, comedian? I think they did groups at one point as far as musicians and dance troops and all that stuff.
So far, they've had male vocalist.
Okay.
Junior vocalist, which was a boy versus girl.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if they're going to do boy versus girl for adult vocalists later. Dance, which I'm kind of,
right.
One does one thing, one does another. How do you really say who's better?
I was going to say, who's better if somebody's doing ballet and somebody's doing tap? Like, it's just what you prefer at that point. And I'm not saying that's what it was. I'm sure there's like hip hop and other stuff that people are doing. But again, like, how are you going to judge a ballerina versus somebody who's doing, say, urban or hip hop dance? Like, it's 2 totally different things. And if you're not versed in either one of them, you're not going to have any idea, oh, she missed her Pile or whatever they call it. Or, oh, he missed that thing. Like, you wouldn't know. So you're just going to be like, that was more entertaining.
So they have the variety section, and that's where it kind of gets difficult.
Magicians
so last night,
and that kind of stuff?
Magic's its own category. They had some good guys on there for that.
Okay.
So here's where it comes into play. So last night, it was, let's just call it a 2-person Cirque du Soleil hanging from a trapeze.
All right.
Hard rock music, flames, he's throwing her around. Everything's beautiful, right? And then the competing act is this woman and her border collie doing tricks.
I would vote for the border collie.
So I did too.
Yeah, of course.
But the reality is they are so different. Like, how do you go, oh, that was better? Because it's not even close to what the act is to be able to really judge one or the other. It just, I guess it's just a feel of, I like that better. I like that better. Whereas last night, also, if you get into the male vocalist, to me, they were both subpar, but one was even more subpar than the other.
Right.
So at least, there's a straight line judgment. You're better than that one, right? You're both singing, and this is what I saw.
You sucked less than that guy did, is basically what your vote was. All right.
Yep. And so when you get into the variety act, it's like, because earlier in the junior variety act, it was a 15-year-old magician versus 8 girls under the age of 15 called The Force, a dance troupe. Like, we're talking about 2 different things here.
Yeah, it's almost that's tough because it's almost like that's the kind of thing with America's Got Talent is you just don't know what is going to come out there and perform, and it's like they're not performing against each other necessarily.
Correct.
In America's Got, I've only seen like one episode, but it's like either you get to go on to the next week or you don't. Like,
yes,
I don't think there's any. Okay, well, this guy was better than this guy, so we'll vote. As far as I know, and I've never watched The Voice, and I've very just surface level know American Idol because I never watched that either. So I don't know most of these shows.
Yeah,
I know MTV did a dance troupe competition as well. So I think it was So You Think You Can. Oh, that wasn't MTV. That was somebody else did So You Think You Can Dance. That might have been ABC. Again, there's way too many of them. Who's the host?
Anthony Anderson.
Comedian.
Comedian. He's had his own show Blackish for a little bit on ABC. I mean, he's good. I mean, he's no Ed McMahon, and but he handles his job well. So, and then the judges are fine. So it was just funny that we do have these variety shows, right? America's Got Talent. And Netflix says, "Yep, we're going to go dig this out and do the same thing, but we're, blowing the dust off the old original Star Search and bringing it back." So, I mean, good for them. I mean, it's fun. It's different. I mean, if you go back to the original Star Search, if you go through the list of people that they didn't win, let's lay that out. There were so many celebrities that we knew later on that were on that original Star Search. You can go comedians, Rosie O'Donnell, Brad Garrett won, Dave Chappelle. I mean, can you imagine the Dave Chappelle we know? I almost want to go find the clips to see what his act was. Because, was Ed on the side going, whoa, 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 if he's doing racist jokes? I don't know. It'd be fun to go back and see.
I don't think he was doing those back then. But yeah, I mean, you talk about the comedy stuff. I mean, Chappelle, Martin Lawrence was on there. Norm Macdonald was on. I can't imagine Norm did well because you have to have a certain mindset. Norm Macdonald is one of my favorite comedians of all time. I mean, he's just unbelievable. But I can't imagine his. I can't imagine that went over well, like in an audience that was like expecting, puns and that kind of. Like, I just don't think that he would have, I don't think
more gentler time.
Over. Yeah, I just don't. You have to have a certain quality, and somebody who's going to a Star Search viewing as an audience member is probably not Norm Macdonald's core audience. Is I guess what I'm trying to say. Rosie O'Donnell did it. Dana Gould did it. I mean, there's a ton of people on this list. Dennis Miller. This is just comedy people. So
yeah. And if you go to music side, I mean, Beyonce, Britney Spears. There were so many. So part of what I was going to do this weekend. Yeah, was to go back and see on YouTube if there are those clips out there, just because I want to see it now.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
I just want to see it to go, and especially on the comedy side, knowing how some of these comedians turned out and what their angle was. Like, I want to see what they did to do stand up on Star Search, because last night you can look it up.
I've got it right here.
Yep. It was a 74-year-old woman from Seattle. Perfectly fit this old Star Search of just generic and making fun of being old, so give her cred. And then this younger guy who did a musical type where he would sing a song and have the audience respond. He was okay. They weren't glamorous. she probably won't live long enough to be super famous down the road. He might.
That's true.
Like you said, we'll find out down the road if this was a launch pad for some people. But so far, I'm saying no. I will give you that blanket. No, I don't think anybody I've seen last night is going to be projected to stardom. So
Okay, well, let me see. I've got Chappelle's first appearance.
oh, okay.
So let me see if I can figure out how to do this. Share screen. Let's see. It says select the tab. No. I need to go here. I'm trying to figure out. I think I've got it. There you go. Let's see. Let me go back here. And I'll add the stage. There you go.
Oh, hey.
There it is. Let me go over here and hit play, and we can.
There's
listen to
Ed.
this. There's Ed. Can we hear that?
I can't hear him.
You can or cannot?
Cannot.
All right. I'm not sure why that is.
Oh,
All right.
there's
Well,
Dave.
I don't know. I don't know why I won't.
I'll look
I
it up.
can hear it here. I don't know why it's not playing all the way through. We'll have to figure it out another time. But yeah, what he was basically saying is he's the youngest comedian at 19 to appear on Star Search.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and he made
I
it
was
through.
going to
It
see if
looks
he
like
was going to do. I can't remember the guy's name. The crack addict that
Oh.
scratches all the time. If that was going to be the
I don't think he was doing Tyrone Biggums. No, I don't.
Tyrone
believe that.
Biggums.
I don't think he was doing that. I don't think he was doing the blind KKK black guy. I don't think he was doing that from his show. No. I'll have to figure out. I if I had known that we were going to do that, I would have had it downloaded or whatever. But I'll have to figure out how to do it. But yeah, I mean, there's 3 different parts. If you just go to YouTube and do Dave Chappelle Star Search, it looks like he made 3 different weeks, but he didn't win. So I would be interested to go back to see who beat him and how that's possible, and if that person is still working. Because if they're not, they have an unbelievable story to be like, yeah,
I'd be
you
Dave
guys,
Chappelle.
you guys all know Dave Chappelle, right? I mean,
Or
I'd
let's
beat
do
him
a
on
look back
Star
with
Search.
Dave. Like, Dave, you were in Star Search and you lost. Should you have pulled Tyrone Biggums out and done that? Would that have gotten you over the top?
Yeah, maybe. It would be interesting. I mean, we couldn't get any of those, big name people on, obviously, but it would be interesting to go back and like find some of these people to be like, hey, you beat Tiffany, let's say, as the junior vocalist. Like, how did that work out for you? Like any of that stuff. Again, it's pretty much like Leanne Rimes was on there.
Yeah.
She didn't win.
Nope.
But we all know who Leanne Rimes is. Like, I'm looking across this thing. Again, wiki, so I mean, you have to take that with a grain of salt. But Brad Garrett won for comedy in the first year. Sam Harris, who had a decent career, won as the male vocalist the first year. And Sawyer Brown, a country band, right? Aren't they country?
Yes, they are.
Won for the vocal group. Other than that, there are very, very few names that I've even heard of, let alone think that they've had some big giant career on this list over the next 10 years of Star Search back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah. Well,
It's
I mean,
crazy.
and that's it. I mean, it's for back then, it was just a place where people were getting started, because that was, if you look, because I looked it up, historical TV, there was a few variety shows in the 50s and 60s that kind of had the Star Search. We're looking for the next biggest thing. And then it died out. And then 83 with Star Search, it, again, let's dust off the old ideas and bring it back. We're going to do a variety show on television, right? So they started up again. So by then, media everything had changed, so it becomes a launch. Like, I have to be on that show, kind of like American Idol and some of the other ones now. Like, this is how you get your foot out there and get started instead of being discovered. So yeah, old idea brought back, and it lasted 12 years. It had its run, and then went away, and then we come back again. Let's do it up again. American Idol, Voice, America's Got Talent, and obviously the new version. So it's always been a launching pad for people.
Right.
to go on and do better things, right? Just gets them out there, especially comedians. I could see, because for that time period, I mean, how else would you become a famous comedian, really?
Yeah. But
because-
again, the people that won, you've never heard of them. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, and they brought it back for one season in 2003 for like 3 months, and nobody paid attention to that. Nobody cared. But I mean, you just go back. Like again, the first year Brad Garrett won.
Okay.
We know Brad Garrett, right?
Yep.
We know it. John Kassir, Kassir. Ever heard of him?
No.
Exactly. He
Nope.
won the next year. Okay. Jenny Jones won. She had the talk show at one point, right? She won. This guy, Mark McCullum, won. He doesn't even have a wiki page. There's no way to even link to know what he's up to these days. In 1988, a guy named Al Lubel won. I've never heard of Al Lubel. No idea. You ever heard of him?
Nope.
Me neither. That's the point. He's not done anything. Apparently, looking at his wiki, he was on Letterman show 5 times beginning in 2001.
And that was it?
But nobody knows who this guy is. Michael Collier, no. Taylor Mason, no. Felicia Michaels, no. Vince Champ, that sounds like a fake name. Sorry. Vince Champ
Sportscaster.
won. Oh, here's a good one for Vince Champ. You ready for this? He's in jail.
That helped him.
Yes. His criminal. Oh my gosh. I did not know this. Holy smokes. No wonder we've never heard of this guy. He is in jail for 5 rapes and 3 attempted rapes.
Oh, geez.
This is crazy.
No background check there.
No.
Or-
oh my gosh.
Or do you get to blame the pressure of the fame of winning Star
No,
Search?
I don't think
That's
so.
why you broke
I don't
apart.
think so. I don't think you can blame that. Nope. Not doing it. He won $100,000 while competing in Star Search in 1992. After that, Champ mostly performed on the college circuit. Well, there you go. He was known as a nice, respectful comedian who only did clean material, which made him a favorite for college bookers. Of course. According to court documents, Champ's criminal record includes physically attacking his 17-year-old former girlfriend in 1996 when he was around 35. Hold on a second.
He was 35. She was good for you, man. Good for you.
Yeah, I don't know. This is he's a weird dude, man. I didn't know we were gonna go down a Vince Champ link here. Okay, so here are the things that he's sentenced to. This is the weird stuff. Okay, so he would follow a consistent pattern. First off, if you're gonna do assault over and over again, you got to change it up. It's too easy. He wore a ski mask and gloves while he sought out his victims inside college buildings. Oh, no wonder he was wanting to do college tours.
My goodness.
Each time he would cover the woman's head so they could not identify him. He talked to them during the assault. Again, of course, he's a comedian. He can't shut up.
No, did he tell jokes?
Yeah, and then asked each of the women to pray for him afterward.
Oh, God. That's a different level of...
2 of the victims said that Champ specifically asked them if they were virgins, and at least one woman described her assailant as Caucasian based on Champ's voice due to his cultured accent and, quote, intelligent manner of speaking. Well, that's not right. But yeah, it looks like all of these are college. I mean, every single one of them. September 6th, University of Iowa in Iowa City, 1996. February 6th, 1997, Union College, Lincoln, Nebraska. February 9th, 1997, Knox College. February 10th, 1997, Carthage College in Wisconsin. February 16th, boy, he was busy in February. Good Lord.
Well, it's winter.
In 10 days, 4 different rapes or attempted rapes in 4 different states.
So this aligns in a way. I'm going to go off tangent here when we talked in the past about someone said, hey, if you follow the path of Garth Brooks
I was
on
gonna
his
say,
tour,
you're saying that Vince Champ is the original Garth Brooks.
that you could connect them to crimes because they're
Right.
there.
Well,
So
murders, specifically
right, murders.
Yeah.
Right. So now we know that there is a hypothetical that's actually real where we can point to a quote unquote celebrity committing crimes while they're on tour.
No
So
doubt.
we
This is wild.
may have to go reinvestigate Garth Brooks now.
I mean, crazy. This is amazing, by the way. And you even talk about it. It says at the time of his arrest, one of Champ's booking agents commented that Champ's schedule resembled, quote, a roadmap of where these rapes occurred. Yeah, good job. Nice job, booking agent. Oh my gosh.
Oh man. So I was thinking we were going to find, if you took the time and went and found one of these old Star Search winners, they haven't done anything, but they still have their website saying Star Search winner 1991, right? Still living on that one victory from way back. But Vince, he took it to a whole new level.
That's a whole different level. In prison, Champ taught public speaking and communication workshops for the Toastmasters organizations as of November 2018. I'm not sure that the Toastmasters would want maybe that being put on Champ's wiki page. Just saying.
Maybe. Do we know when he's due to get out?
It just said 30 to 40 years, and he was convicted in, let me see, I think 2002.
It's been a long time before we can.
Yeah, we're not getting Vince Champ on the show anytime soon. Not that I think that I'd want to.
Well, I just want to talk about Star Search.
Yeah, I know.
Just tell us how it worked out for you.
Yeah, not well. Although I guess technically, it could have worked out well because I mean, he did get a lot of college gigs out of it, so that helped his other career path, I guess.
Speaking of college gigs, side note here, Carrot Top is 60 years old.
I know.
That I saw that the other day. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" That just, I mean, he looked it. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
I saw him on Kill Tony the other night, but Carrot Top I was like 60. Wow.
I know. Well, that's again.
I know it's our age group.
It barely. He literally by about a month. His birthday is coming up in February. He'll be 61. He just makes being a Gen X. He is an original. He's an OG because he's the first year of Gen X. So yeah. He was on Star Search.
Yeah, that's right. Not too far. Okay, yeah.
He didn't win.
The list I have is so long. He was on there. So
yeah. It's I mean, again, we're all getting old. I mean, again, the youngest Gen Xers this year turned 46.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because 1980 is the last year, so the youngest Gen Xers will be 46.
Good for them.
Yeah. I mean, not that long ago. I mean, it's, I guess 9 years. I'd like to go back to 46 again.
Well, I
just the age, maybe not necessarily the circumstances, but just the age of being 46 would be nice. I don't necessarily want to go back to the circumstance I was in when I was 46, but yeah. So
I deal with not accepting the number and not for anything other than it just doesn't sound right. It doesn't feel right. Right. So, because I'll be 55 this year and double nickels.
I know.
It just doesn't. It doesn't like it's a disconnect. Like 55, really? That's like old people. That was my my grandparents, my parents, and it's I'm there now, and that's the hard part I have.
I mean, not to get off on another tangent because we're just about to the hour here, but I believe the Golden Girls ages when they were on that show. They were supposed to be in their 50s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was that. I think
living in a group home or whatever it was, like condos in Florida in their 50s. Like, I have not even would I go live in a condo in Florida? Sure, it'd be great. It's Florida. It's nice. But I am nowhere near thinking, boy, it's about time to just pack it in, call it quits, and just go live out my days in a condo in Florida. So
no. After Main Winter, I'm kind of thinking about it, but hey. Doesn't sound too bad.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, but yeah, I remember they were like in their,
Yeah, here
portrayed
you
to
go.
be in their 50s.
Season 1, 53, 55, 55, and of course, the mom, you
Yeah.
know, that was
Who was, I
Sophia.
think, the youngest of them in real years.
She
or
might have been,
something?
yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Estelle Getty. No, she was 62. So
Oh, okay.
she was younger than her daughter, B. Arthur. So
Okay.
Estelle Getty
I knew there was something.
Yeah, Estelle Getty was B. Arthur's mom on the show, but was a year younger. So Blanche, who was Rue McClanahan, was 51. She was supposed to be 53 in the show. Dorothy, who was B. Arthur, was 55 in the show, but 63 in real life.
Mhm.
And then Rose was Betty White. She was supposed to be 55 in the show. She was 63 in real life. And then Sophia Petrello, however you pronounce her
Mhm.
name, is it was the character's name, supposed to be late 70s, early 80s. That was Estelle Getty, 62. So yeah, 3 of them were in their 50s. All of them would be 55-ish, which is what we're going to be this year. So there you go.
And because it came up in another conversation with a friend, it's similar. Go back and look at Archie Bunker. He was technically, his character was 46, 47 during their prime years of that show.
Isn't that
and you
crazy?
look at him and go, what? Because
Right.
you just said the back end of Gen X right now, 46. I would be highly surprised to go find a 46-year-old male and put picture, him up against what a 46-year-old Archie Bunker was supposed to be. And you'd be like, what in the world? So
Well, just think, like, look at again the picture of the Golden Girls, B. Arthur, and all that. And I know they were in their, their own personal ages. They were in their, early 60s or whatever. They were older than what their characters were supposed to be. But you wouldn't now, as a somebody who's going to be 50, who is 54, will be 55. I don't look at them and be like, that's my dating pool.
Correct. Exactly.
I mean, that's the weird thing is like
that's grandma.
So the next time Carrie starts complaining about anything, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna pull up a picture of Rue McClanahan from the Golden Girls and be like, 40 years ago or whatever it was, this is what you were expected to look like when you were 53. Do you think you look better or worse than this? All right, enough. Stop. So yeah, I mean it's crazy. She was complaining the other day because she had put on like 1.5 pounds over the holidays, and I was like, where? Like I don't
show me where.
She's like, I can just tell. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. I don't know. It's like it's ridiculous, but yeah, it's wild to think that now. Like, I'm trying to think what was the other one. I think there's another one, Archie Bunker. I've heard that one before. And I want to say maybe Close Encounters.
Okay.
Was there another one of I can't remember who the actor was now that they're like, this is a 40-something-year-old person in 19, and I was like, oh boy. I can't remember who it was now. Wilford Brimley, that's what it was.
Oh, in Cocoon.
Yeah,
he was
Cocoon.
only
That's it.
Maybe, yeah, because I think, technically the character is only supposed to be like 50.
Right.
And you look at him and go, geez.
I'm going to go Cocoon age.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. He was 49 when it started. That was his own age. when filming started on Cocoon, and then he turned 50 during production.
Okay.
So, again, though, if you look at him, he looks way older than 50.
Right? And as far as I can tell, it's not like they prosthetic him up, made him look older. He was almost like kind of natural for that role at that age.
And there's a great side by side, and I've seen this now, of Paul Rudd, who looks great. I mean, he's clearly had work done, I'm sure, but it's one of those things that are like, here's Paul Rudd at age 50. here's Wilford Brimley, and it's just like Paul Rudd looks like he could be Wilford Brimley's son.
Dick Clark.
It's crazy to see the difference. I guess that's just, again, good doctors. But Paul Rudd is 56 now.
Wow.
And so he's 6-7 years older than Wilford Brimley was when he was, filming Cocoon. And he looks like he could play Wilford Brimley's son or nephew or whatever in that movie. It does not look like Paul Rudd is 7 years older than Wilford Brimley. It's wild.
It's very.
I don't know. I don't want to ask them because I feel dumb if they're like, no, I thought you were older than that. I was going to say, I should ask the teenagers on the high school basketball team that I coach. Just like guess. If you had to guess, how old do you think I am? And two, they'd say, but I'm afraid someone would be like, I don't know, 60? Really bad. Because I tell them all the time, I'm like, I'm probably older than most of your parents. It's the only hint that I give them, which is probably true. They're all, between 14 and 17. Maybe there might be one that's 18. I don't know when their birthdays are. But even then, they're probably, their parents at the oldest might be 48, 50. Maybe it's slightly older than that. I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm
have
probably older than all your parents.
1-2 partners. Again, they're young because they're just starting out, that I'm older than their parents. And that's kind of disconcerting at times, because one the other day was talking about something and I kind of did the number in my head and I was like, oh, they are younger than me.
Yeah.
So
well, that's what now it bothered me at first, but now they're all well past that. But I remember the first time when I would see like birth dates being like 2000, and you're like,
right?
Oh my God, you were born in 2000. Well, no, those kids are 26, or they're going to be 26. So it's like, okay, whatever. Now it's like, oh, you were born in 2010, which some of them were born after 2010. Like they don't have any concept at all. Like 9/11 is like World War II to them. It's like,
yes.
They're like, oh yeah. And they were like, well, what did you guys do that day? It's like, yeah, you went home and turned on TV. Watch stuff. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. So,
well, the good thing you have going for you is you aren't quite as silver-haired as me. So God bless you on that one.
But I also have a hairline that's going way back, and I've got it on the sides. I definitely have it on the sides. So,
but you could just play that off as style. See, I'm silver and thinning, so people will look at me and go, huh.
We should do like our buddy Chris Nicholson, just shave it all off. Be done with it.
Right.
So anyway, I guess we should close things out. It's been a little bit over an hour. So we have to go prepare for the snow. I've got to get my stuff packed for the trip. I guess I'll pack an extra day of clothes just in case. Don't want to get up there and then be stuck and have to wear the same clothes 2 or 3 days in a row. That's gross.
You can wash it in the tub.
That's right.
Travel
sink. Yeah.
Right.
Just take the bar of soap, wring it out in the sink, scrub it, wring it out in the sink.
Like our forefather used the hairdryer to dry it.
Yeah, exactly. Or just hang it up in the shower and let it drip dry. Less wrinkles that way. So, anyway, we'll be back again next week. This was episode 18. Any final parting thoughts before we get out of here?
Great quote. I heard it the other day from the movie Fight Club, but it's true for life. It's only after we lose everything are we free to do anything. So keep that in mind as you go through life, kids.
This concludes this episode of Gen X Men with Bill Rowland and Gary Dollarhite. Gen X Men is now off the air.